Welcome back to ESL One Katowice 2019, our second consecutive year of visiting the legendary esports city of Katowice in Poland. We've come to the final series of the day. I know it's a sad thing, but don't worry, because we've got 2 more days of series to come in the group stages before we move on to day number 4, where we'll see bracket play happen, and then days 4, 5, and 6 inside the magical Spodek Arena with a magical crowd alongside, I'm sure, to cheer all the players on. But let's get to that 4th series. We've had a little change here on the panel. Purge alongside me is joined by Blitz as well. Will, it's been an interesting day, isn't it?
Yeah. There've been a lot of
the meta changes, I guess.
Yeah, and
just little ones.
Like what I really like about patches is it's the immediate, okay, who knows the most? That's why you often see these like stomps. It's because who read the patch the best, who interpreted it the best. It's just like who gets to these quick starts.
Whose theory craft is going to work, and
yeah, it's always really interesting because the teams that have the idea like, okay, these heroes are good, they're going to have such a big head start because they'll have practice with it. It's they get to incorporate their ideas. The further they get into the tournament, it kind of like coalesces. Like it's a big advantage to the teams that are really good at theory crafting.
We're going to see one of those teams right now, because our first team is a team who have changed their name over the years, but they've bounced back. They used to be called DC. They won an ESL One event back in the day. They're now just called simply Chaos.
One of Dota 2's most popular underdogs, Chaos Esports Club, formerly Pain Gaming, comes into ESL One Katowice with the intent of proving that a South American team can square up to the rest of the world. A slight change to their roster by replacing Duster with Coach Misery has done little to shake up the squad. Despite their previous performances, Chaos Esports Club are a force to be reckoned with, as Misery and Wee's clean and clinical Dota, combined with the traditionally chaotic nature of the Brazilians, has created a team that can execute the unexpected without fear. Oh, and expect lots of in-game taunting.
Yes, the very enigmatic Chaos Esports Club, as they're now called, of course, our 3 Brazilians alongside a Romanian and a Dane. It sounds like it shouldn't work, doesn't it? But yet it does, and it does produce some magical Dota for both the right reasons and the wrong reasons, Kevin, sometimes as well. Not always works, does it? Let's be fair.
Yeah, not always. But, I mean, they're undefeated so far at this tournament. They've only played one series.
They won the 2-0 at the start.
Cool, but, you know, it can go lots of different ways. We don't really get to see them super often on the big stage, and they have kind of swingy results. They tragically lost out on getting deeper at TI in like a tiebreaker, if I remember correctly. So I don't know. They're a fun team to watch. They've had some good histories at ESLs, but we'll see how they do. Yeah,
we'll talk about them in just a moment and get some more info from Will and his thoughts on them. But first, let's look at their opponents.
Aster has shot out of nowhere to quickly become one of the most promising teams in Asia. This is in no small part due to the trio of Sylar, Bobica, and Fenrir, each a highly distinguished player with many tournament wins under their belts. Joining them are the promising Love You, Love Me, and XXS, both of which are itching for a chance to make it on the main stage. However, the team has been plagued by a plethora of poor performances in both online and offline tournaments, meaning they will have to really up their game at ESL One Katowice if they're to prove that Chinese Dota is still something to fear.
And things don't get much better for this team, unfortunately. This team of superstars that were born out of the previous TI, of course, that formed together, and everyone looked at it on paper and thought, what a fabulous team. Hasn't changed too much, but they have gone through some many mid players, not least of which they've also made a change since that video was made as well. And they've got a different player, Mushi, now playing in the mid lane for them. So, well, I mean, they've really been up against it, haven't they? And it's, on paper, you look at them and you think, what a great set of players. This should be awesome as an all-star Chinese team. And it just hasn't worked for them so far.
I mean, like 2 years ago, yeah, I would have said this.
I mean, they're still great players, though.
Yeah, individually, yes, I think that there's some talent there, there's experience, but for whatever reason, they just haven't really gotten it together. And the funny thing about it is, I think the weakest that they looked really strong up until they ran into Chaos at ESL Hamburg 2018.
Yep.
They were on a roll. I think they were like 9-1 in the groups or something.
Yep. And then they fouled to the lower and then lost again. And that's it. That's been it since then.
Yeah, ever since then, when they were in that tournament, they were crushing everyone. it was just they were running through everybody. All the games looked easy.
Yeah.
The one set that they dropped, I think, was because the games didn't matter anymore. They had gone undefeated. There was no bearing anymore on the standings. So like whatever, we don't want to show any of our strategies.
But we're looking at players. I mean, Kevin, you've seen this lineup. Sylar, fabulous in his prime. Yes, okay, hasn't been quite the same recently, but Mushi, decent mid. XXS, I mean, one of the very best offlaners in the world for a period of time. But Boca, probably one of the best fours in the world for a period of time. And Fenrir definitely being one of the best supporters of all time. How is this team not working?
Well, they've got a gel. Maybe, who knows, maybe because they're also talented, they have headbutting. Maybe they haven't solidified a playstyle. Maybe their mid player has caused issues. There's a lot of thoughts. I mean, they did okay at TI, but these Stones kind of dropped the ball, and if I'm not mistaken.
ESL One Hamburg.
Hamburg was a
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah. But he then got into trouble by insulting other players as well in games, which was very toxic, and then got fined and then got booted.
Well,
so that hasn't been easy.
The toxicity has stayed with their team, I guess.
Yes.
Something. I don't know.
It's been a rough time. However, on the flip side of it, Will, what are your thoughts on Misery as a captain? I know he's kind of like a reluctant captain, really, isn't he? He doesn't really want to play that role.
Yeah.
But he seems quite good at it.
I mean, I think he thinks it's a lot of pressure, and for sometimes, like, he's an old school player.
Yep.
He used to be a core. Used to be like one of the best.
Hasn't he played every position now?
Yeah, I mean, he was offlane on Secret. He's played 4. He's played 5.
Yeah.
I think he really relishes the opportunity to just play Dota without having any of these strings attached. But I think what this team lacks, what we saw in the previous iteration, is like they need discipline.
They do, and direction sometimes too.
And that's what I think Misery gives you inside and outside of game. Like, all those stuff. Sometimes I heard like players would oversleep and things like that.
Yeah.
Misery's not letting that fly. Like, he's gonna get in there and say like, this is unacceptable behavior. Like, you can be yourselves. You know, in game you can be this like loose kind of flowing style. I'm not gonna try to control you. At the same time, like, you at least have to like be a professional, be disciplined, and he's like a good role model in that regard. So he just makes the most sense to me as the leader of this team.
He hasn't dulled them though, Kevin, has he? He hasn't taken that fun element away completely. You know, yes, some professionalism, yes, some on-time stuff, but they're still having a lot of fun.
It doesn't seem like it's made much of a difference. I mean, if there's like 5 players on a team that have a lot of fun together and you throw one of them out, it's still going to be fun.
Yeah.
So should be fine.
Yeah. Impact of the new coach. Always, Will, you've done the role. Difficult sometimes to just drop in and suddenly make a big difference, isn't it, as a coach? But we've got a British coach in here. Well, I'm going to mention him because we rarely have any success in Dota 2 at the top end of things. Just the fact that we've got a British coach in here to do something, that's a good opportunity for him, isn't it?
Yeah, T Governor is a really nice guy. He's like a 7.6k player, so he's got high MMR, and like there's like certain things that you can do to sort of shake teams up, because obviously they've been together for some time. They haven't found like that key moment yet.
Yep.
Like, they did well at Hamburg, but they're still losing to the Secrets and stuff of the world.
Sure.
So there's 2 ways to make that happen. Either you make a player change, which Team Aster has tried twice, or you bring in some new ideas, you bring in some new talent. You don't want to kick anybody. You say, well, we'll get a coach, or we'll change our coach, something along those lines. And so I think it'll be interesting to see like what sort of ideas he brings, because you don't necessarily have to be the best player. I mean, 7.6k is very good MMR. What you need to do is be willing to butt heads and say like, these are my ideas about the game. You might not respect them, but like, you know, you got to take them into consideration, and at least they're fresh. Because part of the issue with playing as a same group of individuals at all times is that the ideas start to feel stale.
They do.
You all start to see the game the same way. Then when things break apart, everyone's a little bit lethargic. You need some new blood to go in there and be like, guys, this is the way things are. I don't mind things like coaching changes for that reason.
Well, he's had a good start because they've beaten Complexity 2-0, where they've also got a brand new coach. Congrats to Kips, by the way, for her position with Complexity at this particular event. I hope that one is extended as well. I think that's a match made in heaven between those two. Meanwhile, the draft is very much underway, so let's get into that for game number 1. Aster picking up CK Disruptor for an opener, and Chaos with an Ember Spirit in the second round, following a Lesh Brew.
And an Omniban.
And an Omnibat, yes. Kevin's on the Omni train. Are you on this train, Will?
I haven't played it yet. I don't even know if it's good, to be honest. I just wanted to see it.
Kevin wants to see it more than anything else. I think we all want to see it.
I've seen it in like pubs twice.
Yeah. Well, we all talked about it backstage before this tournament started. This is going to be the breakout hero.
Did we say that?
Well
yeah,
everyone
so
kind of mentioned it at least once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were talking about what do we expect that might come out of left field, or at least what might improve because of the patch notes, that was the one that came out consistently.
I haven't really seen him played that much.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not like, for example, like I've seen a lot of CK in this tournament. that hero gets like universally picked.
Yeah, and that had a slight nerf, I want to say.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, it wasn't massive, was it? It wasn't enough to put big teams off.
Another Warlock too.
Yeah,
really good team fight.
First match of the day?
Second.
I think second.
Remember that was in the Secret OG one with the Fatal Bonds.
It looked incredible in that game, didn't it?
Yeah, it was very good. I wouldn't say incredible, but it was really solid. Puppy had an incredible performance.
Yeah,
he was
he
like
did.
4-0 and 16 or something like obscene like that. But it's lots of disable. It is damage amplification with all the AoE damage that Chaos is doing, or should I say OC House Esports Club. It's a lot of team fight and stuff. No one else wants to riff on their name looking like something else?
Oh, Chaos.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, something like, I don't know. I guess it's just a bad joke. We can move on.
What were you going for there?
I mean, look how close the letters are. It's mildly funny. No one,
It's a 0 though, Kevin.
It doesn't have to be. It looks just like that O.
It does a little bit, yes. It's slightly narrower though.
I
It's
don't
a
think
0.
so. I think it's exactly the same.
It's like at least 3 pixels less wide.
Somebody must have mistyped it. Maybe their keyboard didn't have a 0 on it. It's an O. It's definitely same character.
Okay, RC Sports Club.
There we go. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah, I knew that's where you were going with it. Yeah. However, on the other side of things, we have Weaver.
Who has been buffed? Watch out.
Yes.
What was his buff, Kevin? Laid on me.
10, 20, 30,
Geminate.
40 damage bonus on your Geminate attack.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, they didn't need to do that.
That's not bad. I was a little surprised. I was like, Weaver still picks sometimes.
Yes, and he's really annoying to 4s and 5s in the back line.
Do you think it's viable in any way to like not max Sakuchi first?
I could see you getting bugs more than I could see you getting Geminate.
Really? I thought this would push Geminate over the like max. I mean, most people max Geminate over over bugs always.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like nobody maxes bugs before Geminate.
I love the bugs.
And I don't think they will anymore. I mean, like they're mostly like armor reduction and vision. Pretty much. That damage bonus? Buy Rush Daedalus. No boots Daedalus. That's the only way to play now.
Kill lots of
As far as I'm
5s.
concerned. Kill anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, true, but 5s particularly.
Sure.
Shadow Fiend. Yeah, so...
SF Ember is a really interesting matchup because the SF, you dominate the early like 2-3 levels because you can instantly get rid of the Flame Guard at level 3. You just double raise, get rid of it. And Ember inherently has to always get short raised. He's always going to get hit by the Z raise because of...
Do damage.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it really easy for SF to get the triple. But then it just completely goes in Ember's favor at some point. And then it swings back once you get the BKB. But for the most part, I think Ember versus SF, it's like a timing-based thing. Like if Chaos Esports Club can hold on long enough, it'll be a really good matchup.
It's definitely one of the more interesting ones to watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
For those mid gurus out there.
Plus, you can dodge all the disruptor stuff.
Yeah, the lineups are kind of interesting to look at. Like Aster, it has a lot of vulnerable heroes, but in the same vein, if they do catch Chaos's players, they'll be pretty easy to kill because they have decent lockdown. But on the other side, Chaos has all these like mobile heroes, like super strong team fight potential. Oh, always got to keep the napkin on the mouse. Can't let it get sweaty. That's an upgrade. Normally he used to do like a full tissue. This is just like what's available. I'm pretty sure I wiped my mouth with one of those napkins earlier.
Not that one.
I'm very familiar with
Not that one.
Oh, is that a Weehaw Meepo?
We do have.
It is.
They tricked him.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did, yeah.
I mean, they assumed that the Ember was
Yeah.
going to be the mid.
They did.
They got him.
Oh my goodness.
How does Meepo do against SF?
Does
It's
it
fine.
really matter? Yeah.
It's fine. I think that the laning phase can be... I mean, laning phases against Meepo is whatever, because you just hit jungle creeps anyways.
Sure.
What's good about the Meepo here? Just because it's
they already look beaten, by the way.
squishy supports against the Weaver.
Aster already looked beaten.
They were smiling. What are you talking about? You projecting? What do you like? Both. Like I looked up briefly, and all I saw was Aster smiling.
Mushi
They're
did
kinda
not
like-
look like he was smiling to me.
He was kind of like, they picked Meepo.
Yeah.
Defeated? That means defeated to you? Okay. That's fine.
I'm asking
Fine.
you.
I don't know. I can't read faces. Very
Okay. Well, who's had the better draft?
I think the Meepo might have been a little bit too greedy, is my only concern. It's like I felt like maybe you needed another way of catch or something like that, but I mean, I could very easily see it just taking over the game and winning in 20 minutes too, so.
That's the problem with Meepos, isn't it? Thanks, gents. Head over to our commentary team. They're ready to bring you our 4th and final series of the day. Mr. Odie Pixel alongside Fog. Gents, you've got yourself a Meepo opening game.
We do. We've got some incredible player hero combinations. In fact, you know, Mushi Shadow Fiend on one side coming back.
It's a bit of a treat, this one.
It is. I don't know which way it's going to go. I mean, what are you reckoning, Fogged, on this?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's a last pick Meepo. Like, last pick Meepo, I'm looking at the AoE. So Shadow Fiend, Disruptor, so they've got okay. How's their single target burst with CK? So the thing is, like, the CK Phantasm, right? If you're able to...
I think it's all right, though. CK,
I think the Meepo looks pretty good here.
He's going to have an E-Blade down the line. CK goes in on one Meepo, bam. E-Blade that Meepo, okay, you know, you can keep him safe. We're going to see some fancy footwork from Weeha. It's sort of about the mid lane as well. As sort of the power stage you said, it should be fine, right? Against the SF in the early levels, I don't really see any reason why you suffer too much. You should be okay as a Meepo.
You're going to get bullied, but that's Meepo, right? You get pushed, and then you're just jungle, and you're going to super farm because you're a Meepo. So... it's going to be how much they can capitalize, and I mean, these fights are going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a Warlock Golem, there's going to be the 4 Meepos, the Bruce Split going off at the same time. On the other side, there's going to be Bugs, plus the Shadow Shaman, plus the CK Phantasm, so a lot of different units to keep track of inside of the team fights, at least.
Let's have a look as we get ourselves into this one. Aster versus Chaos Esports Club. And a lot of big names in this one that I can't wait to see. Some names I haven't seen in a while. As I say, Mushi on the Shadow Fiend back in the mid.
Dude, I haven't seen a Mushi. Oh my god, it throws me back to, like, man, when I was playing 3 years ago, I used to play against Mushi Shadow Fiend.
And how was it?
I mean, Mushi's always been... so the one thing about Mushi as a core that people always critiqued him about was he loved to save gold. And Shadow Fiend was one of his specials, where he would save like 6,000 gold. But we'll see.
And then just buy a BKB and another item, just bam, bam.
Yeah, he would buy like 2 full items, and you'd be like, wait, what the hell is going on right now?
Well, let's have a look at this. Aster, 18 pro games so far in this patch. None of those matches have featured any of their currently drafted heroes. So it's clear to say Aster, apparently, according to this stat, don't know what they're doing. They've not done it yet on this patch, so they're going in blind, and I love it.
I mean, they're going into some heroes that other teams are picking, right? The CK first pick, that's what a lot of teams have been doing. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out for them. They've got interesting ways to get catch too with the Disruptor, with the Bugs. They have ways to get vision with that too.
That's a look. Silar's going to try and take the run away, but Savo will be able to grab hold of it. Okay. He's going to be down here on the offlane Brew, and of course backed up by the Let's Strike. He's going to have the 2 of those down there, the 2-1-2s, whilst at the same time Aster, they are starting with 3 heroes top. If I remember, Boca ready to back up XXS. So look to see if they can get any sort of early grab off the wave, but Chaos Esports Club playing it safe, keeping themselves underneath the tier 1 tower, whilst Misery's up there to support that safe lane Ember Spirit.
Do they have a sentry in the bottom lane, Chaos? They do not, so this Weaver should be able to get some stuff at least in the laning phase. One of the big things you do versus Weavers in lane is you just plop a sentry, and then every time you shoot cookies through you.
Look at this, we're seeing an attempt at the early sort of support movement to the mid. It's just a bit of harassment. Yeah. Okay, because they'll bring the disruption, but he's gone for the TP down bottom, Fenrir. So starting to sort of create the lanes we expect. We'll see how long Baboka stays around the mid. It's going to be nice.
Souls.
Yeah, make sure that he can get the Necromastery stacks up early.
Yeah. That's one thing is SF, it's always been the same. SF's level 1 is, he's got 40 base damage, Meepo has quite a bit more, so Weeha's getting pushed out quite a bit here by Baboka.
Yeah, I mean, some nasty right click, isn't it? The old Shadow Shaman has 76 coming into the lane.
Ooh, look at this ward that they used to block. Misery is actually trying to find it. He does not actually know where it is. He went into the tree line actually and checked, but he didn't see exactly what it was. That's a sneak spot.
Oh, that's a sneaky one.
So he will not have a pull. So that means HFN is going to get pressured a bit here by XXS whenever he gets any help. Because this constant Chaos Drake, you're an Ember Spirit. You don't like getting hit like that. Sure, now you have 3 armor. It's gotten better after some of the nerfs and stuff, but you still get hit pretty hard.
We're going to have Misery TP it in on the mid lane to try and at least offer a bit of safety for Weeha. We'll have the Shadow Word ready in a bit to heal him up, I imagine. Baboka and Mushi, of course, starting the lane in a much better place. Mushi getting all the souls he needs. He's up to 12 already. He's got the level 2. We'll see how long Baboka does feel he needs to stay around. I mean, does he need to continue to be here, or are we going to soon see him move away from this lane?
Sure, they can get kills. Yeah. Anytime he gets a shotgun, ooh, they actually went for it, and they took a moment to actually skill it up, and he doesn't have a mid ward, so he lost it. But yeah, they can get kills here with these 2, especially if Misery's here. They're like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I guess it's just a Shadow Word, heal over time. They can certainly try and work through that with the triple raises if they get the burst.
CK's gonna he's going to out-sustain the top lane because what we've mentioned so much about this way Chaos Strike works, you just keep hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. Ember, though, is one where you can actually turn for a kill because you have the, you don't have a way to break the Flame Guard. So if you're too far in the lane and a rotation comes, then you can't get pressured. But, I mean, CK is just so tanky anyway.
Yeah, he's got good regen on lane. He's got 4 tangos in the south ready to pop if he feels pressured on that top lane XXS. We'll see Baboka move down bottom. See if he can set something up. They do have the other 2 of them here. Fenrir ready to go, lead in for the setup. And Weaver able to catch up. But they don't want to go for it. Baboka doesn't see an opportunity. He's quite happy with the lane and the position that it is. As it is, Chaos, they were playing careful. They're keeping back from the wave. They knew that something was going on down there. So
could be Mushi also calling for a play mid. He's probably
true.
like, hey,
that's the bigger kill.
We have sitting half HP, a couple raises.
Let's see. So, in they go. Shackles are there. 1 raise already on target. He's going to move in. He's got another raise. He doesn't use it.
They held both, too. He had
he had both raise. Did he have mana for both?
He didn't have ether shot. No, he didn't have both. He didn't have mana for both.
He didn't have mana for both, but he did have mana for the closer raise. I guess.
I don't think he would have actually.
Would it not have been enough damage if he did do it before the poof? It was a level 2 raise.
They didn't have ether shot either.
Okay.
Close.
It's close. All right, didn't want to kill him. Anyway, bottom lane, King. He's under trouble. They get the King, Sylar. And Fenrir able to find the kill in return. Sylar's trying to run his way away. Has got the stick charges. Will survive against the beatback from Tava. So first blood for Aster down bottom.
A fantastic start for them too, because Weehaw still is not ready to the point to go to jungle yet. He's still too low level on the Meepo. So this movement that they did, having the Shadow Shaman sitting mid, is working really hard versus Chaos right now. And again, Baboka is just walking in. It is under vision, but it's just that constant pressure. It's letting Mushi just snowball this lane.
It is, yeah, Mushi. More than happy with how the lane's going. I'm going to see Baboka moving, and it's just this sort of movement, keeping Weehaw away from the creeps, making sure that Mushi keeps this nice advantage in CS.
Misery eventually does look like he found that ward top. So he is able to get some pulls off and pull back the lane a bit here. But you do see CK is free farming, as is Ember. So 3 lanes, free farm for Aster. Well, Chaos is being slowed down a little bit in one of them.
I'm interested to see what sort of build Mushi goes for on his SF. I mean, does he sort of strike you as a Guardian Greaves kind of guy, or are we going to see some more sort of old school build, maybe some sort of Yule's build on the SF?
I'd like him to get a BKB really early this game, to be honest. There's just the gap closing. Like I think Blitz was talking about on the panel. It's this Ember Spirit. He's not mid this game, but Ember, you hit level 6, and the biggest crutch of Shadow Fiend is if they get on top, you're dead. So
yeah, if an Ember and a Meepo army gets on top, you're getting blown up. There's a top lane. They'll get the chains out onto Baboka. Going to try his best to run. XXS does hold with the stun onto HFN.
He's fatal bound.
He is taking a bit of damage. XXS has to be careful how much he's being beaten, but should be fine as he is able to get himself away. Mid lane, Weehaw just poofing out in time as he gets incredibly low there to the raise harass from Mushi. He'll head himself into the jungle for now. Has the shrine ready to pop if he feels the need to use it, and he will do so. He'll take it. No one else wants it.
This is when he's going to try to start catching up. He's it's only 400 gold behind the Shadow Fiend, who's quite ahead on last hits, but this is what we'll see. What Blitz talked about on the panel too.
And they are going to have this pretty strong global presence, right? With Weehaw being able to set up around the map with the Meepos, it's going to be very hard to read where he is, and then obviously HFN as well with the global potential with the remnants and the bots down the line.
Yeah, I do believe he's going to go. I think that's why we see him saving right now.
I think so.
That's,
with the Meepo?
No, never mind. Right as soon as we say, he goes face boots.
God damn it. But even so, he's still an Ember. He's going to be able to TP to lanes, go for some quick action with the Meepo, and bam, get out of there.
Yeah. The face gives him some armor at least versus the CK constantly poking him.
Yeah, I mean against all 3 cores, the CK, the SF, and the Weaver.
Makes much more sense.
It's nice. It's gonna toy with VR a little bit. We are nicely using the vision to his advantage. Gets into the pit, poofs out before the SF, before the Shadow Shaman can see him. And yeah, this top lane, CS continuing to slightly favor HFN, but very close. XXS. He's also getting a lot from that lane.
He's level 6. He's had no help on the CK. This is a solo off-lane CK.
Bottom lane Tava. He's going to get TP reactions coming in to help him. Will be glimpsed back. They should have the damage to get him. Sylar's diving in with the Shikuchi. Doesn't actually get the Shikuchi here onto him, so Tava will survive. Shadow Word heal there from Misery. Fed up on down, but Mushi's coming in from the side. Goes for the raise, but the infused raindrop keeps Tava alive. He'll turn towards King RD. The Thunderstrike is down on him from the Disrupt. He's trying to tangle up, but he won't survive. Baboka's there as well to secure the kill with the Shock. They'll look for more now. He's got the Shackles locked down. Sylar diving in deep behind the tower with the help of Mushi and Fenrir. They'll pick up a second down bottom. Aster making the early moves, getting Mushi into that bottom lane. They'll get some pressure onto the tier 1 tower as well. Nice rotation there from the SF.
Gives you free movements when you're like that as a Shadow King whenever some meatball. You're like, he's just jungling. I can do whatever I want now. And HFN's not 6. XXS, we mentioned, he's 6 before the Ember Spirit.
And he can play aggressive. He saw what happened down bottom. Pretty much the entirety of Chaos Esports Club reacting to that pressure from Aster. So he knows he can play aggressive on the Ember despite being underneath the tower.
It's so far like a perfect start for Aster. It's 2k advantage from it, and the Meepo is starting to catch back up in the jungle here. But, I mean, they've had a CK literally alone in the top lane the whole game so far, and it just allows his supports to move around and secure the farm for, you know, Mushi or Sylar.
A lot's going to be on Weehard to make some magic happen. Of course, if he's ever going to do that, it would be on his Meepo.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure he's just telling the team, give me some time. Let me get my early items, get the Wraith Bands out at least, and then we can see what Weehard's going to be able to do.
For sure, and when you're playing with a Warlock on your lineup too, right? It's like your 5 position doesn't make plays. He doesn't make plays till 6. He's the team fighter. He's the mid-game guy. So that's the big thing you're looking at here for Chaos.
Oh, Weehard trying for a play towards the mid lane. It's going to get shackled. They'll turn around with the razors. Weehard's got to be careful with one of the Meepos. Will be fine. HFN comes in, jumps forward with the Remnant on top of Mushi. Mushi goes for the TP out as soon as he's seen the Searing Chains used. So he knows there's no further way to cancel him, and everyone will manage to escape there on Aster, despite Chaos Esports Club bringing 4 heroes towards the mid lane to try and make a play. They get nothing.
Could say a lot of Chaos.
Let's see what he did there.
It was.
They're trying to bring it. I mean, it's the magic that they have, and it's as you say, it's gonna come together. Once there's the Blink Dagger on Weehard, now that we've got the 6 on Tavo, they have the team fight back.
That's the big one.
Instantly ready to go. They look towards Sylar. He isn't 6 himself, so no chance of a time lapse. Will be thrown up in the air. He's gonna have a chance to Shikuchi though, so he should be fine unless they get the stun bang on. They don't get the stun. The timing's not there from King, as Sylar will be able to hide. He's gonna have another Shikuchi in a second. He's gonna try for a TP out though, and with the Shikuchi available once more, he will escape. So a little unfortunate there. Mr. King RD doesn't quite get the timing with the stun out of the Wind Panda's Yules.
They glimpsed him, right? That was a really nice little play there. The glimpse to move the Leshrac away, because they were like timing the stun with each other to drop him down into it. But just a little play there by Fenrir does actually save the life. And now they're making, looks like Mushi's making a move down as he actually queued up anything.
If they can get another glimpse play, Tavo, he hasn't got the primal split, so if they can get the 3 razors upon him, they'll have a good chance. They'll drag him back.
One missed.
There's the second one, but as you say, with just the 2, it won't be enough to kill him. Tavo will survive.
That's twice now, actually. Mushi had the same thing happen in mid lane. He missed the first raise.
We'll see towards the mid. Sylar, if he got vision there, would have almost certainly gone for it with the bugs, but Misery was able to duke around the trees. Weehard's back in the lane. How's he doing on the money towards the Blink Dagger? 1,400 gold on the Meepo.
Getting close. He's level 8 too, so he's, I mean, like we mentioned, complete. He's actually ahead of Mushi now in both gold and experience. Not after that tower though.
Drums done for XXS. I mean, as you say, this offlane CK level 8 at 10 minutes in. The solo lane worked out beautifully for him up top.
The literal solo. No assistance whatsoever.
He's going to go for the drag back onto Weehard. Does have the Baboka Shaman heading over as well. There's the backup from Misery. He's going to be there to try and offer something. He doesn't, of course, have 6. Still just level 4 Warlock, so no sort of ult to throw down. Baboka, a little out of position, did go up to the high ground to try and find an opening to shackle onto the Meepo. But TPs were in from Chaos, and they themselves will get their first kill on the board as they take down Baboka and put a stop to Aster's attempt to make a play.
Slightly over-aggressive. XXS will use the Phantasm to farm some Ancients at least for himself, but they're still keeping that 3k gold lead, and that's like a, you know, Brew was wasted bottom, Phantasm was wasted for this team, for Aster here.
And there we go. The drag back set up for the Razors to come out. An easy kill for Mushi. Nice. And it looks like Mushi's being Mushi. There we go. He saves his money up, as you say, and now Bam can just pretty much instantly buy the entirety of the Yule Scepter. I like this. This is... They're going to be able to make players with it. None of this sort of grieve stuff. You know, that's for the low skill SF players. This is the true player.
It lets him be a playmaker. Yeah. It lets him just constantly run around and have things happen. So that makes sense. Yeah, he has it finished, so it's going to be pretty strong.
Quick.
They've got a blink on the Meepo, and Aster just walking up middle.
King on the high ground, tries to go for the setup. Only gets the stun onto Baboka. They have now got the ult on Misery. I believe he must have used the tome to get that. As they'll turn, drop the ult onto Fenrir. Fenrir's caught out with a remnant forward from HFN. They'll search towards Baboka. Return with the Hex onto HFN. The HFN continue to chase. Has got the chains back up. In they go with the Golem, pounding down onto Baboka. It will set up for a second kill for HFN.
That was bold by Aster.
Just head up to the shrine.
Walked up to the shrine.
Let's go.
Maybe they thought that the Warlock wasn't 6 yet, but even then, Brualt is going to be getting up next soon again too. So
because we did just see him and he was just level 4, so he must have been very close to 5, and then bam, I guess got the tome, and then as you say though, you got to be careful. Got to be careful if you're Aster. They've got the setup here onto Tavo, gets the split off just in time. We'll see if Chaos can do anything with this aggressively. They're looking towards XXS. Up in the air, he'll be sent. They'll try and surround him. Obviously, with no Golem to drop, it may be hard to do so, but they're going to commit with HFM. Remnanting forward, there's the stun from King RD. They'll finish off XXS. Now they can try and look for more. The primal split ends. Baboka will drop the wards, but it's not going to allow him to do anything unless maybe he can kill off Tavo. The Thunderstruck is down on him. They'll kill off Tavo with the ward placement. At the same time, up top, Weehi's got the control onto Silai. Can't get out of the net. As Chaos, they lose the brew, but they're fighting a lot around, and the dodge, HFN taunting Mushi there as the slight dodges the Yule setup into Requiem. Triple kill for HFN. Chaos, they've turned up. This is the aggression that they were waiting for to build towards, and my goodness, they hit Aster hard with it there.
And that was Aster trying to make the initiation. They glimpsed the brew back into them.
They did.
So Tavo just pops it, but Baboka TPs and dies. Quite a couple mistakes there, but Chaos capitalizes. Yeah.
Does manage to catch out Misery with the Yule Scepter.
And as you mentioned too, while all that's was happening in the mid lane, Weeha got a solo kill onto the Weaver.
Onto Sylar.
And these type of kills, when you're a Meepo and you're getting solo kills on an enemy core, look at Meepo now, level 12 pretty much. Just completely caught back up, even ahead of everybody.
You got to watch out for this Weeha Meepo.
And it is the E-Blade, right? Like you were talking about, of course,
it makes the
CK.
most sense, yeah. And it's Weeha. He wants to have the playmaking item. He doesn't want to have the items that he's going to sit around in the jungle and farm away. He wants to get active on the map. He knows his team needs it, and we just saw there, by all means, Chaos, they can go for these fights. That was a fight without the Golem in that mid lane fight where they take a 3-for-1 trade across the map.
It's pretty remarkable how quick the experience things change, right? Like Sylar's level 8, he's super low level on this Weaver now in comparison. Like Tavo, the offlane brew, is the same level as the carry Weaver, just from one little situation that happens there.
We're going to see Sylar go for the Maelstrom on the Weaver. Anything else sort of crazy? Well, XSS.
Oh, speaking of Sylar mid.
Does get the time lapse off this time. They didn't quite have enough control. He is going to be able to Shikuchi his way down the river, and yeah, the net won't quite reach with that Earthbind from Weeha. Precious space is going to be there for Aster to push it up the tier 1 top, but they're going to try and react this. The Rock's down onto the 3 of them, the Fatal Bonds as well. Mushi, he's melting. He'll pop the Yules onto the Ember Spirit in an attempt to hold HFN back, but they'll continue to chase. I don't know if Mushi can get his way out of this. They'll glimpse HFN. He tries to surround him, but he goes too early. So
he's still chasing.
He's trying to dive. XXS has got the stun on him under the tower. There's going to be a buyback from Baboka as Chaos. They're coming in under the tier 1. Buyback and TP in from the Shaman, but Baboka itself has to be careful as Aster, they are still on the retreat. XXS has been found in the tree line as Tavo has got the control with the stun into the Searing Chains from HFN. They'll finish off XXS. See if they can get anything more out of this. The Primal Split does end, but they've still got the Golem good to go. He's getting raised up on the high ground though. He walks in and Mushi's there ready and waiting. A couple of raises and the Meepo's dead. As Chaos, see they've got to be careful now. Mushi set up for more. Yules into the Requiem. Shackle controls there from Baboka as Chaos dove a little too far there on that one, feeding Mushi a double kill as they go past the tier 1 tower.
And another glimpse.
And with the War Vision, they've got another. King RD dragged back into the clutches of Mushi's SF.
Mushi's playing really well this game, actually. Just his small rotations, the small little step-aways
and the Yule Scepter, the build.
The Yule's is clutch. And
done
immediately
so much.
into the BKB right afterwards.
This is what you wanted to see.
I love this. Yeah, this is actually so good here by Aster and Mushi at the moment. Yeah, Chaos just over-chasing a little bit there. They had the great setup with their rock and with their fight like around the tower, but the overall chase was a bit too far. They couldn't get the Shadow Fiend, and just a little too tanky on the side of Aster.
They have to be careful with that aggression. They don't need to play that aggressive Chaos Esports. They can't, there's no sort of rush. There's no sort of need to get ahead of themselves with this draft. They've got a Meepo, they've got an Ember, they've got good scaling potential.
I feel like the Primal Split is the more important team fighting one. Even though it's like the Rock is so big and like the Fatal Bonds and everything, it's really more about not the damage, it's about the control and keeping people in there. Tavo can at least throw people up, get a stun off. The Golem, his stun is the initial, and then afterwards he's just kind of running. So does he have any points in the upheaval? He does have 1 point, so maybe that could come into play here now next.
There we go.
Big momentum swing though.
Tier 2 tower. The wards are back up. Baboka's able to drop them, take an objective.
And it's going to just make the timing for Mushi even better. Once he's got this BKB, he's going to be like
pretty
much immortal versus the side of Chaos.
Yeah, it's pretty much, only going to rely on Meepo getting on top of him, but even that's going to be hard because they have a lot of control on the side of Aster between the Shaman, the Disruptor, and the CK. There's a lot that they have to worry out for. And as we've seen, if Weeha gets caught out by a stun, the raises are going to come in. At the moment, he's still pretty vulnerable with just the Blink Dagger and the Ghost Scepter.
Chaos is all positioned here for a fight. They do have their split ready. Rock is also up in 5, so they're gonna have everything. Aster does not have their Serpent Wards, but that's not one of the that big of a team fight one. That's usually used differently. So.
Oh, Femram will get caught out by a bit of a nasty surprise.
Okay.
He's the one to find out the Chaos are there standing behind the tier 1 tower. They'll let this tower go, I'd imagine.
Instantly pings the ward because they stunned him before he turned the tree line, so then he knows that they have vision up on that high ground.
With the Diabolic Edict and the push of the Meepo, they'll have no trouble taking this tier 1 tower without any attempted interaction there from Aster. As you saw there with the timing, a very good speed for Mushi to have the BKB complete on top of the Yules. And as we mentioned, this is going to make him an incredible beast in the team fights.
Definitely. How's Sylar done? He's caught up. He's caught up after that one death. He was, I mean, he got so much space to just farm now on this Weaver after that one death. Indeed, Maelstrom done, going for BKB. Yeah, BKB is name in the game for Aster when you're playing versus, I mean, Ember Spirit and Meepo, right? The majority of their damage early on is magical.
Smoke out from Aster. They want to make a big hit happen with this newly found BKB on Mushi.
Yeah, they're, I mean, so tremendously strong. Whoever they catch, Tavo.
We'll see him. Mushi goes for the setup. Has he got the timing? Well, with the Hex, it's easy. They'll land the Requiem. Shackles are down. Tavo ain't getting out of this. Mushi picks up a kill. They'll take that one. Without the Brewmaster, they know that Chaos Esports Club are unlikely to try and make any plays for 30 seconds.
And they have Serpent Wards, right? So if they wanted to try, they could try pushing a lane goal for tier 2, but nah, they're too far away. They're just going to look like push out bottom, at least with the CK. Maybe mid they could try. So they don't really have, they only have the one ward in the enemy jungle right now. They don't have wards around the mid lane. So that could be their goal that they get off of this kill. But nah, it's only 10 seconds now. So just a farming kill. E-Blade's done.
Is done. Yeah, let's see what this means. Atos also complete for King RD, so that extra bit of control obviously isn't going to be too useful though once all the BKBs do start getting completed on Aster's cores.
They can look, I think Chaos can look for trying to take a fight here though. Even though how close is Tavo to 12? Not quite there, but they do have the smoke and like you said, those items just picked up. So they're clearing out the mid lane and looks like it's going to be a go. They're going to try to catch Aster. They don't have any vision really though. Not on the side of Chaos. They have like the vision in the mid lane, so they're kind of smoking a bit blind here, walking into a high ground. This
is not going to be too easy. You're smoking into the BKB of the SF. They're going to jump forward onto Mushi. Mushi turns with the Yules onto HFN. XXS in on the front lines. Standing Storm down as well. They get the stun off straight away onto XXS. He's getting bursted pretty low. Mushi has been forced to pop the BKB. XXS, he's out of there. He's going to run away, but Boca will be the one left behind as they'll lose the Shaman. Everyone else does manage to get out on Aster. So, not the worst of losses, but at the same time, it was a risky play for Chaos. That could have gone a whole lot worse running into an SF BKB, but they get a kill, and they do force the BKB charge out of Mushi.
That was a very strange fight, because they static stormed on top of the Ember, and he ran around in circles inside of it, and just survived. They missed, I think, 2 of the Shadow Raises, because Mushi kept pump faking him, because he couldn't actually hit him. And then Baboka, who is their actual disable, got isolated with the CK.
And this is huge. They're going to get the rush. I mean, and that was a fight. Sure, it's just the Shaman, but it was a fight where, as I say, they get a BKB charge out, and they didn't use the rock. The rock's still there, ready to drop on Misery. So a very successful moment of play there for Chaos.
I mean, that secures him a Meepo Aegis, which is one of the crucial things you want to have on a Meepo. I think it's going to be the blink on the Brewmaster if he wants, and level 12. So another swing of momentum. Back and forth game, as we are playing around those cooldowns for the most part here on the side of Chaos. But yeah, it seemed like Aster, but they had the BKB and all that. They got caught off guard.
They weren't able to go. I think XXS sort of getting on the front of it. You know, he ults and then straight away he is the pure focus. So they were able to deal with the Phantasm pretty quick and get him in a position where he just had to, tuck his tail and run.
They may have been focused on, like, as soon as they see the Brew split and stuff and they're like, oh god, there's a lot of ults being committed, they might be like, how close are we to item timings, right? Because Sylar's probably like, I'm close to BKB, and then XXX is probably like, I'm close to BKB. So they're very close to their triple BKB core timing, which is, as we've been mentioning a lot, very good versus Chaos's mostly magic damage line with it.
She's going to TP up here. It's a good job for him that Chaos weren't sticking around looking for more action, as he did go straight in on the front lines. And, I mean, he's doing it again. Yeah, Mushi forever keeping us on the edge of our seats. 3,200 gold saved up. What is he thinking about buying? Are we going to see him get some here?
We're going to find out right now.
He's going to go Butterfly.
There, we found out.
Or is it...
Wait.
E-Blade or Butterfly?
Okay, I thought he might sell it. He walked back to the shop for a second. I was like, what?
Is E-Blade a thing, or is it definitely Butterfly?
E-Blade this game.
See HFM.
But I'm not too sure. But they got HFN here with that
Easy trap with Static Storm.
It's probably the E-Blade this game.
You think it'll be go E-Blade SF?
Nope, Butterfly queued up.
Okay, there we go. I guess, I mean, yeah, evasion always nice, yeah, against Meepo for sure. You know, you've got a good chance of surviving. If you can BKB, get the ult off, had that 50% damage reduction, he knows he's not going to die to the Meepo army straight away.
They do have a crazy tricore too. If it scales to like late game and he's got right-clicking items, they've got like 3 right-clickers versus Chaos. They'll be like, okay, 3 hard right-clickers.
He's going to have this Butterfly in very good timing. Mid lane, look at their fan once again. Psylocke gets caught out by Weeha's Meepo. Few Earth Binds and a stun from King RD to lock him down. Instantly, though, after they lose Psylocke, Aster's actually going to go for a smoke up themselves. They do have a DD ticking on Mushi's SF.
They were setting up for it before Sylar actually got picked, so I think they were just like having him push the lane out. But
sure, but
Chaos capitalized.
Yeah, this is not something they really want to do. I don't think without Sylar alive, they'd rather hang on until he's back in. At least hang on until Mushi's got the completed Butterfly, because he is close. XXS does have the BKB, so he'll feel a little more confident going in on the front. Very close to having the level 12, so ideally for him, he wants that second point at the Phantasm before he goes.
A heart, though, on Weeha, and that's a big scaler. He'll be able to tank a lot of that damage that comes out from Aster.
Oh, yeah.
And now they're still playing together with this Aegis timing that they still have for another 2 minutes.
I've got a full pipe done on the old Brute, ready to pop out. You know, walking around Tavo with Vlad's and the pipe. He's offering a lot of auras for the team.
I like how they're playing this aggressive now, though. They get the 1 kill. They immediately go bottom. Only show the 1 hero, though. They only have Ember hitting the tower, and the other 4 are just sitting up inside of this jungle, waiting for somebody to try to respond. They want to try to get something bigger out of this Aegis timing.
There we go. Weeha. He does find the setup onto Sylar. He's bringing in more. Can he chain lock him down? The BKB's going to come out from Silent Sylar. He's just turning and punching into the Meepo, and Weeha is going to go down the once. That's the Aegis pop. We'll see if they can set up for a second time. Mushi, a little low on mana. Doesn't have any sort of raises or requiems to play around with. He'll put the BKB. The drop down, though, onto pretty much the entirety of Aster. That's going to allow him to kill off 2. BKB from Mushi and XXS pop. They're trying to fight, but Weeha's just too tanky. They can't kill him straight off. Mushi will pop the Requiem, but he's getting chain stunned up by the Primal Split and King RD's Earth Splitter, and bam! Weeha's in with the E-Blade shotgun, and that's the SF dead. 50 seconds without Mushi. The control there as well onto Sylar. He's trying to get back to base, but the Earthbind holds him in place as they just get slaughtered outside the entrance to their base.
And this is their timing. They with the Aegis, they want to just break this. They want to break the game.
They're going to take these buildings incredibly quick.
He's level 19. Everyone else is like level 13s and 14s or 12s.
Oh, they're getting overrun now, Aster.
It's happening.
This bottom lane is going to crumble. There are still tier 2s in the other lane, so at least there'll be some sort of safety there for Aster. But this is just sort of feels like a sign of things to come. You know, at Chaos, they take a fight and bam, they take objectives just like that.
And I almost keep saying it's just too much chaos in the fights, you know, because I don't want to keep saying the stupid, you know, But it really is, because there's 4 Meepos, there's a Golem that drops, and there's a Bruce split that's going on, and then you have your own Serpent Wards and stuff, but there's so much stuff in the fight that it allows Weeha just to easily get these targets, and once BKB starts taking on SF, it doesn't matter, and their damage just feels super limited. It feels like the damage is only Mushi.
It really is. I mean, Sylar, you know, he's gone for the sort of Maelstrom into BKB. Sure, these BKBs may have allowed them to do something earlier, but it means that there isn't the damage there. There really isn't. The Fatal Bonds, the team fight combos of Chaos Esports Club just easily outscale and do greater damage at this point of the game than what Aster has to offer in a 5v5 mid lane. Sylar
They've got
time-lapse immediately.
Good damage soak. I mean, it's a 3,000 health Meepo now, who just stands in the front line, eats everything, and then he's got a pipe in the back line plus his teammates all backing him up. So the Meepo, you know, we were saying it looked like a good Meepo. It looked a little shaky in the beginning, and then everything kind of all started falling into place after they got that one little pick off on the Weaver into a rush.
Yeah, but I guess as we said as well, you know, that's going to be expected. He was getting dual lane mid. There's a Shadow Shaman there, making sure that Mushi has a great start. But of course, you can know that Weeha has played against every single combination of single lane, dual lane, in the mid lane as a Meepo. He knows how to deal with it. He knows when to back out, when not to feed. And he's done exactly that this game. Only died the once on the Meepo, and now level 20. Incredibly farmed. Tavo gearing up to scale as well. In case the game does continue to go on, he's got a Midas picked up on top of the pipe and the Vlads, so he can just continue to keep on pace with the rest of the cores in the game.
Level 20. Mushi's level 18, so he's keeping relatively close to that Meepo, but then you see XXS level 13. Yeah, you see Sylar. I mean, he's doing okay too, because he's got that XP gain talent, but that's with XP gain, he's only 17. So, yeah.
I mean, we just saw last fight, it felt like when there is a 5-man running at Aster, Mushi as an SF he can't really offer anything.
No, just tickles.
Even with that Butterfly, it's just not enough to punch through, as you say, the 3,000 HP of a Meepo. So we are just going to look to stack up the E-Blades. Superior for the stats.
I think they're knowing that after that, especially, like they're probably feeling so safe in this game.
Oh, they saw how
they're
quick
just
they
like,
took it.
Okay, wait for next Roche. Once we get next Roche, we just go. That's all they need to wait for, Chaos.
Yep, go for a fight, hit racks, end the game.
They even maybe look for Sylar here. They're trying to, but they didn't actually quite get it.
Sylar, he's had a tough one. Pretty much had no impact this game at all. 0, 3, and 4 on the Weaver.
Yeah.
There just hasn't been a place for him. Would you say that is down to the hero he's on? Is this just a tough Weaver game? Like, what does a Weaver do in a game like this when he's behind?
Weaver overall as a hero isn't really in the strongest place right now, right? As a carry, sure, we've seen him as like fours and stuff, or maybe as like an offlaner, but as a carry, this is, I mean, you can get punished really hard. A couple deaths and you fall off.
Let's see what they can set up in the mid lane. They'll look towards HFN. They have got the Hex out. They are going to drag him back in, but straight away, in response, the Rock comes out. The E-Blade as well onto HFN for now, keeping him safe there, allowing him to pop his BKB after the stun wears off. They do lose King RD on the left rack. We'll see them dive in deeper. Tavo's trying to finish off Femra on the Disruptor. Again, though, Sylar getting caught out by these Earthbinds. That's a dead Weaver once again. Tavo's still alive, even though they dropped the Static Storm down upon him. With a Pipe of Insight, he has so much magic resistance, he can just simply walk out. XXS has got a Meepo problem on the side of things, as Weehard chases down the Chaos Knight, finishes him off, but Boka cannot hold them back as Mushi's trying to TP back to base. He'll make it, but everybody else on Aster is dead.
I mean, Weehad just ran by himself at 3 or 4 heroes after the fight started, and they can't deal with him.
He's so tanky. He's with the 2 E-Blades, he's got great agi, he's got 27 armor, 3,100 HP.
Mushi!
I mean, why not? He knows there's nothing Mushi can do to get out of this. The Earthbind control's there, Mushi's dead for 70 seconds.
They don't even need the Roche. They don't care. They're just like, all right, we're strong enough. We don't need to wait for Roche. We can just take a fight.
This game is turning into a bit of a train wreck for Aster. Back to the drawing board, I think. The Meepo pick indeed was very good at sealing the deal this draft, as some of their heroes, I mean, pretty much all 3 of their cores feel like at this stage, they do absolutely nothing against Weehard's power. Yeah,
they can take out the backlines, sure, but you can't deal with the Brewmaster and you can't deal with the Meepo. Brewmaster pops up, Meepo runs in, you have to just try to kill the backlines, and then once your BKBs run out, you are so threatened. If you get caught in one disable, you're dead on the side of Aster.
I mean, it really, like, just watching it, it just feels like, you know, that this is easy for Weehard. Weehard is not having any problems at all this game. Just another Meepo game for Weehard, and he's making it look very, very simple.
I mean, HFN after just, I mean, he's not like he did bad in the top lane. He was in a 1v1 kind of versus a CK, and he just free farmed. He's 9-1-5 on the Ember too. He's just having a free game.
No, for sure. I mean, the whole team is just along for a ride. It was only that first bit of the laning stage where it was like, okay, Aster's having a slightly better time, but suddenly, as soon as the action kicked off, the coordination from Chaos was just that much better.
Yeah, and that was the nature of their draft though, right? We said it, we're like, what is Warlock really doing lanes? He doesn't really gank, he doesn't provide you like heals and stuff. And then once mid-game comes, that's where Brew and Warlock really show their power. Even the Meepo too.
Well, they're trying to head out here, but it looks like they're going to get sent back in. A couple of coffins. That's a dead Disruptor. Mushi has to put the BKB. The wards are going to be dropped down. Tavo's going to head towards Baboka, see if he can control anything else and set up for more kills for Chaos. The chains are out onto Baboka. Both supports of Aster dead outside the base, and Weehar, he's straight in. On top of XXS, BKB has to come out. I mean, they're having to BKB and run at this point. There is just no chance, no breathing room, no space for Aster to ever try and fight back. And now, with these 2 E-Blades, as we say, it's a lot of siege. They can just fight through the backdoor protection. They don't care on Chaos. They're ready to end this game and move on to game 2.
No, who's the deep push on Aster is like the Shadow Shaman, really. He's like, hey, that's his nuke. If anyone else walks up, they're just dead. And don't even see Sylar coming back. Like, he can also throw bugs to slow people down, but they don't have their supports.
They've got a full hex on HFN, and you can only imagine that all the BKB durations are falling very low on Aster. Not that that would change much, as even when they were longer, they didn't do anything for them in the fights.
Yeah.
As Chaos, they'll take the mid-racks, they'll move up to the top. It's a 17k lead now at 31 minutes, 23-13 for Chaos Esports Club.
It felt like the 3 BKBs would be huge for Aster, but they actually never got the group together with the 3 of them. Chaos just played a bit faster than them, got that like 1 pick off, got the Roche, and then from there it's literally just been like this massive snowball factor. I just pull up the graph really quickly, and it's just pretty much all Chaos since they got that Roche at 24-ish.
Let's see, they're going for a 5-man smoke outside of the base. But, I mean, if they find someone even more, how do they start the fight? What do they do? They're fighting into and the Golem ready to drop. Sylar's going to head into the pit. He's
Gotta
got to be
watch out.
very careful. XXS says he's going to try and jump forward straight away. He's looking to commit on Weeha. He's got Mushi there as well. Can they actually kill Weeha though? The rock's going to be dropped down, cancelling the Requiem. Mushi will finally get it off, but they've already lost Baboka. Mushi gets Hex. Weeha's on top of him with the Earthbind. He'll use himself up, but he cannot escape this. The poofs come out. Mushi's dead for 70 without buyback. Sylar's BKB is going to do absolutely nothing for him. GG is called. Game 1 well and truly over as Chaos bring in the Weeha Meepo, and boy, is it an easy game for him and the boys. As that game 1 looked like Aster, they couldn't do anything. They literally couldn't do anything with this lineup. They were just falling further and further behind each and every minute.
Mushi had a good game overall, right? For the first like 15, 20 minutes, he was making moves, running
he was
around,
getting items.
It got to the point where Chaos' draft came together. The Warlock, the Brewmaster, all their massive amounts of team fight, all these units, everybody was so tanky. Aster just kind of got ran out after that first Roshan. It was literally just full control by Chaos after that.
I mean, so when you look at a game like this, how'd you go into game 2 as Aster? Do you have to start to be saying, well, we might have to consider just banning the Meepo against these boys, or can they draft in a way that leads them to be less vulnerable against a 5th Meepo like we saw in game 1?
I'm not too sure. I just don't even... They just seem very disconnected too, right? Like Sylar getting picked off alone in multiple times in the game, so I'm not too sure. I definitely think that Chaos had a little bit better draft, like we mentioned the Meepo last pick, but Aster were kind of all over the place. It was just Mushi. Mushi was the best one making the moves. Yeah. The other two cores were just getting picked off.
Yeah, well, a rough start for Team Aster in this 2-game series, and a great game for Chaos Esports Club, and a great game for the old Weeha Meepo as well and truly back here. But there we have it. Game 1 goes to Chaos. We'll pass you back to Paul and the lads on the panel.
Thanks very much, gents. Yes, of course, we'll come back to ODPixel and Fogged for game number 2, which will be our final game of the day. Another victory for Chaos Esports, a 3rd win in a row here at ESL One Katowice. They're enjoying a very good first day, that's for sure. Let's find out from our men on the panel what they thought of a very dominant victory. I mean, it was a Meepo game, admittedly, Will, and sometimes you just have to kind of go, well, that's a Meepo game, but there's a little bit more to that.
I mean, they set up the draft perfectly. Yeah, they set up the draft perfectly with the Ember. They fooled us. Like, we thought it was Ember mid. We were trying to figure out the last hero. And they did play really well. I mean, they understood their lineup. They're like, we're going to hit these really sick timings. All we have to do is be really patient. Our Meepo, even though he got dual laned in the beginning, he's like, I'll hit jungle creeps. This is just what Meepo does. I stacked myself some neutrals. You can't really do anything. And for me, it felt more like Aster just kind of fell flat.
Yeah, I mean, was there anything they could have done?
Tons of things, actually. Looking at their towards the end of the game score, CK was 1-3-0. He only participated in 1 kill, and he got it. His skill build was a 1-1-4. He maxed his passive first. I don't know why you would do that. He was an offlane hero. When he ultis, Brew uses his, thing that destroys all of his ultimates, and that just negates the benefit of leveling your passive. Get a stun and murder people. That's like the one thing that I feel like he could do. He had a stun, but only had 1 point. Maybe get more of your other skills, move around, get stuff done. He didn't even buy like farm items, which is good, but I feel like he needed to get on the board and do something. Because, I don't know, the stats are just really, really disappointing.
Yeah. Is there an element when you get a Meepo picked like that out of the blue and it's a good Meepo game, is there an element of almost defeat before you start the game?
I mean, you saw in their faces, like Kevin pointed out, you saw resignation, he saw happiness. Yeah. But clearly,
like, I think I may have glimpsed something
it might have just been
a little bit different to Kevin.
I mean, maybe it was just like well, we got Meepo'd, boys.
Yeah,
what can you do about that?
Move on.
Sometimes you just get caught out.
And Mushi tried really hard.
And to be fair, he had a good game.
He got the fastest BKB in record for Shadow Fiend so far. I think for at least this patch or recently. Yeah. So, I mean, he played very well. He got good items. He created space for his team, but at some point a Weaver was not going to be able to do that much. Even if Weaver didn't get ganked a couple times by Meepo, it's like the hero doesn't have like a mid game where it's like, wow, so good that you have a Weaver, It's like they picked Weaver because he was difficult to gank, more or less. And then Meepo comes in and like completely shuts it down. So like the one thing that Weaver could do, which is like split push a dangerous lane, is just gone. So it kind of really shut down what Aster wanted to do.
Yeah, tough break really for Aster, and I guess you write it off, move on, think about game 2, right?
Yeah, for me the scary part is like, for Aster, I feel like this was the tournament to like, okay, we got Mushi, we can set the ship right, everything's good. Like, yes, you can convince yourself that you got Meepo'd, but better teams have been Meepo'd by Chaos and have won against it before. Sure. If you're in this tournament for real, this is a very prestigious, good tournament to be in. It's like your own proving ground. They're good teams here. Like, you gotta, no excuses. You have to step up because
Yeah,
I just feel like they've had bad tournament after bad.
They're
tournament.
0-3, Will, right
Yeah.
now, and they lose the last game. That they end day 1 0-4. Teams don't normally come back from 0-4 and end up in the top 2.
Yeah.
It's very rare in this kind of format. Likewise, Chaos would end the day 4-0.
Yeah. I mean, Aster has kicked their mid player twice.
Yeah.
By the third time, surely it's like, all right, honeymoon phase, engaged. Like that's what we're used to seeing. Somebody gets kicked, everyone's really motivated to play. That was our missing piece. Like we just needed to get 0-4.
Yeah, potentially. Potentially. There's still.
I mean, 1-3 doesn't sound.
There's still time. 1-3 is not so bad, Will. Trust me. You know, you can still get yourself out of trouble at 1-3, which is exactly what they'll be trying to do when they come back for game number 2 after the break. Quick mention for you as well: the MVP by Mercedes-Benz. Of course, one of the features that we have here at ESL One, something that we personally enjoy getting involved in. It's a bit early for us. I'm not going to test Will right now, or Purge for that matter, because I don't think they're really in that kind of mood. But you know what? If you have an MVP already, and you think, oh, I want to vote for my favourite player, you can do exactly that when the voting opens, which is this evening after our final game. It's the MVP by Mercedes-Benz. We thank them once more for supporting esports and Dota 2. We're headed to a break. When we come back, we'll have our final game of the evening. Our Aster going home to the hotel this evening without a game to their belt. We'll find out very shortly.
Raises or Requiems to play around with. He'll put the BKB, the drop down though onto pretty much the entirety of Aster. That's going to have to kill off 2. BKB from Mushi next as pop. They're trying to fight, but Weehar's just too tanky. They can't kill him straight off. Mushi will pop the Requiem, but he's getting chain stunned up by the Primal Split and King RD's Earth Splitter, and bam! Weehar's in with the E-Blade shotgun, and that's the SF dead. 50 seconds without Mushi. The control there as well onto Sylar. He's trying to get back to base, but the Earth Mine holds him in place.